BBC Hooniverse.
You're watching the TGM production.
Hello, and I am Tom Mason, here representing on behalf of TGM Productions. What you're watching is called Raven's Adventures with the Doctor, but we've removed the S on it, Adventure with the Doctor. That might change in the future when we decide if we're going to put the S back in. During the first recording, Raven had such a brilliant time. Raven was new to this existence of our world. Raven was new to technology, so there's bound to be a few things that go wrong. So in episode 1, Raven was still talking, but the camera died, and Raven had no idea what was going on, and Raven didn't even notice, because when we sent it to our editor, they edited it, and then we've got this audio file left, and we went, well, we're going to have to use that in called Raven's Adventure with the Doctor, episode 2, The Lost Tapes. And that's what we've done. We packaged it together as its own thing, but I decided here at TGM, as I get the recording device to make sure I know that nothing's going wrong. So I decided that it was right to share because it was good material. I don't think Raven could remember saying that again, so we couldn't really re-record that. But it is mid-conversation. So whilst Raven's talking about everything to do with the Doctor, we've got to sort of take into consideration that's halfway through a conversation. We've not added any waveforms or audio forms because we don't feel like that's necessary. We've just added the thumbnail back into it. This is sort of detailing the journey, this series, of how Raven managed to meet the Doctor, who is a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey, and how Raven ended up here. Now, the more we feature Raven on this channel, the more we'll get to know Raven. So Raven's, I've heard, what we're doing, and I'm allowed to talk about this, is we've got another YouTube limited comedy channel called The Likely Friends, where all the people you've met, like Bingo Bob, Albert Flowerpot, Disco Dave, Ian W. Smith, or Ian Who Smith, Mr. Who, Jed Cruz, Raven, Coolbread, obviously, Buddy B, DCI Gone Mad, all the comedy characters, if I can be real for a second. And they'll give their own life story in an individual video because they all have a flat share. So this series is just to sort of give it more of a Doctor Who flavour, because that's what I felt I wanted to achieve with it. Now, episode 3 will be different, because I've decided right here, right now, within the 3-minute and 24-second mark, that I've decided that we need to add an S to the word adventure. This version right now won't have an S, but when we get to episode 3, it will have an S. And I want to apologise on behalf of TGM for it all going black out there. So, without further ado, please enjoy Raven's Coolbread talking more about his adventures with the time-travelling Time Lord, the Doctor. As I draw a close, because obviously the gang are waving at me to wrap it up now, is that the Doctor took me on these wild adventures. So this episode, I told you about my adventures to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Now, when we were watching it being built, the one thing I noticed is that they left it on an angle. I went, why have you done that? And I walked up to the architect and went, excuse me, babe, why have you done that? And they said in their best Italian accents, apparently. I didn't notice, but apparently the tiny translates for you. They went, well, we've just put in a lean because we've got a feeling that there'll be money to be made out of that. And I went, what, like 18 shillings? Went, no. And then they said some currency that I can't remember, and I wasn't too sure what that was. I said, what's that? They went, well, that's local currency of Italy. I went, alright, okay. What's Italy? Oh, it's what Rome was. Alright, okay. And I didn't know what Rome was either, so I was a little bit... Well, the quests that I've been on in my life have never been anywhere, right? Anywhere in the same level as the quests that I was on with the Doctor. Or adventures, as the Doctor likes to call it. So, I think that me and the Doctor had a cracking time. I do remember once fighting against these creatures called the Daleks. Another time I did the Cybermen. Another time I fought against the Slovene. Apparently, this was really annoying me. I was out at the pub, at the tavern, really. The Doctor told me to call it a pub, but I call it a tavern. I was out at the tavern with my chums, Jill and Bill. Great fellas. And at 1 minute, Bill's like, I'm really itchy now, and farts. I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. The Doctor comes running, this is how we met, actually. The Doctor comes running in, and he unzips his head. I'm like, what? First of all, what's a zip? Second of all, what? And he turns into this green creature. I'm like, ah! I ran off. No, I didn't. I ran and bumped into the Doctor, fell over. I've blacked out. And apparently, according to the Doctor, he then destroyed the Slovene. And apparently, my friends had been aliens this entire time. I went, well, what's an alien? And the Doctor went, you've got a lot to learn. So he took me into the TARDIS and said, here's a dictionary written by Susie Dent. And I went, well, who's Susie Dent? And he said, she's a lexicographer. I went, well, what's that? I went, another story for another day. It just gives you enough modern words and enough words of yours. Yeah, just take it. And I went, all right. Thanks. And so that's what I did. I took it and I read it and I went, oh yeah, that's really fascinating. And that was it. We were fascinating to the end of the earth. Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel.